Hey, did you know you can go to colinmullen.com in order to get art and art prints? It's true. It's the point of the website, but guess what? This one you're about to see is not on there. It's actually on shirts and hoodies in a link down below, which is in the description. You can go and get this design there if you'd prefer. So, yeah. So, hey, everybody. This drawing was done completely digitally. I'm going to talk about this thing real quick, and then we can talk about today's subject matter. And I'm going to try and work it in. So this is a character from this D&D-like campaign that I've been doing. I made a game using Twitch integration that chat can have inputs into what happens in the story and what the main character does. And this is one of the characters in that story. He's an Episcopalian preacher who is concerned about the state of the town and is doing his best to be, you know, a good Christian and all that, but also happens to be a Wendigo, so a monster of that cannibalizes people. And so you know, he's found a workaround for that, but you know, he does do his best to be a good Christian. And I guess I can kind of get into today's subject matter. So for the last half of this, I kind of couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, so I decided to go ahead and stream it. If you want to watch the full thing, that'll be available on the Patreon probably tomorrow, just because the upload time is going to take forever. But it'll be up then, and I'll post it on the Patreon then. But anyway, we got into a discussion about like interpreting art and who's, you know, the real interpretation. What is the real correct understanding of art? Is it the viewer's interpretation of a piece, or is it the artist's? And I don't think it's as easy as that. I think, you know, people like to get into this idea of the death of the artist, and I think that's a little bit egocentric to think that you know better than the person who made a thing. But also, as an artist, you have to understand that not everyone's going to take things the way you intended them to. This guy, like I was talking about, this character that we're doing art of, or I'm doing art of here, I see him as a good Christian. I see him as a good guy trying to do his best with the lot he has had in life, and he's trying to, you know, take care of other people, and, you know, I feel like he's a good guy, right? But it's very easy to look at this guy without the context of who he's supposed to be and see him as, you know, a mockery of Christianity, or a mockery of, you know, the Christian faith. There's a lot of Christian symbolism on this piece, and if you didn't know any better, you'd assume that it's like maybe the horned god from the Wiccan faith, or maybe he's like I don't know, he's like Satan, but he's dressed up like a minister. Like that, you could get an interpretation of this where it's blasphemous, and that's not my intention. But if you see this and you think that, are you incorrect for thinking that? And I would say that the intention is not that, but, you know, similar to what I was saying during the stream, if I give someone a gift, let's say like I have a friend who likes working out, right? I notice that they work out a lot, and I give them an elliptical machine, a machine that's supposed to help them be able to work out, right? And I give that to them because I know that they like working out. I see them working out all the time, but what I don't know is that they actually just do that because they have body issues, and they think they've got these issues with themselves. And because I didn't know that, they interpret me giving them that gift as that I think that they're fat, or that they're ugly, or whatever. You know, and then they take offense to it, and I don't know why, because I just gave them something that I think that they should like, right? You know, based on what I've seen them like in the past. Which interpretation is correct? I think it's more nuanced than all that. Like, it's... I intended to give them a nice gift. You know, it's the thought that counts, right? But also, like, I did do them harm. And I think that's kind of how art works, too. we have different symbols, you know, based on our cultural understandings and based on who we are as people. I have done 2 paintings of black cats because I love my black cats. They're good kitties. But, you know, some people have a fear of black cats. And so they see an image of a black cat and they might think, oh, this is about fear. When it's not. It's just like a painting that I'm like, I like my cat. You know? My point is, I suppose, is that it's... there can be multiple different ways of viewing a work, and it's not the death of the author that matters. And it's... you should take the understanding of the author into consideration. What the author was going for sure, but is that the be-all, end-all? I think your interpretation also matters. You know, I was talking about breakup songs and how we're always on the winner's side in these breakup songs that you hear. But maybe, like, they were the bad one in the relationship. Hey There, Delilah, someone pointed out during stream, was written about a girl that he didn't even know. He just saw her at a party and thought she was cute. And that song takes on a different tone when you know that. Gauguin's work, when he's got all these paintings of little girls, takes on a different interpretation when you know that he was, he would go to other countries to find a wife, and a wife that was significantly younger than him, like an actual child. It's really hard to look at his work now, knowing that. Like, you take on a different understanding and a different interpretation of the art and who he is because of that, correct? I'll leave you with one last thought, and it's about this first gallery show I did. When I was in art school, I had to do a gallery show basically to graduate, to prove that, you know, I'm not just doing this for an easy, you know, degree. I want to actually do art with myself. And so the setup for a gallery show is actually pretty stressful and pretty intense. And so what I wanted to do it on was this... I used to go to protests, and so the feelings that I had during those protests when the police came and stopped the protest violently, and my opinions of that. And for extra credit, some people could, if they were having bad grades in art history, could go and try and interpret the stuff that was in the gallery show, the senior gallery show, to try and up their grade as an extra assignment. And one of the people, we were given those afterwards, which was really cool, but one of them stuck with me, and it was a person who saw the work that I did, which is still on colinmullen.com, saw it and was like, oh, he's forgiven the police for what they did because they were doing the right thing. And that's not right at all, you know? Understanding who I am as a person, understanding what that meant to me, you know, is that a failure in my art? Is that a failure in their interpretation of the art? What is the actual, like, truth there? I think because, like I said, with the black cat thing, we all experience art based on the understandings that we have of reality. It's not as easy to just say the death of the artist is where it is. You have to take into account what the artist was about, what they were doing, and when they were doing it, and the climate of the world, politically, socially, who they were, and all of those things. And then you can start putting together an actual functional understanding of what their art means. So, hopefully this was helpful. Let's go ahead and thank the people on Patreon. I'm just going to do the recording that I had before, so that way I can have all of the people who, you know, pledged by the end of November. If your name is not read off and you pledged this month, know that your name will be read off next month in next month's pledge. But anyway, thank you to the following people. Thank you, Wapfu. Thank you, Theodore Corbiere. Thank you, Spiral. Thank you, Spencer Kane. Thank you, Punkster. Thank you, Phoenixia Theoram. Thank you, Oboist Kirby. Thank you, Mortibus. Thank you, Micah. Thank you, Maliciousness. Thank you, Lost Nevada. Thank you, Kayla Hollinger. Thank you, Holgen. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you, Gaizuzan. Thank you, Daniel Rotwind. Thank you, Chiptune Glitch. Thank you, Kathy Rose. Thank you, Bubba Fair. Thank you, Bep. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Adam Kearney. And thank you, Ants! Anyway, thank you guys again. If you want to get this on a hoodie or on a shirt or whatever, the link is going to be in the description. If you want to join the people on Patreon, a link will also be there for, you if you're interested. But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this was informative or at least helpful, or at least I did a good job explaining myself. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.